All right, welcome in to another special edition of the Jordy Culotta Show right here, driven and powered by Ghost Chevrolet. What an honor it is to welcome in our next guest. We have been really waiting and looking forward to our conversation with Baton Rouge native, LSU legend, WNBA legend, and now assistant coach with the Los Angeles Sparks. Great representative of our city, our state, and of course the flagship university. Seimone Augustus joins us from Los Angeles, just wrapping up practice on this Friday afternoon. And Moni, it is great to see you. Thank you for joining the show. Hope all is well. How are you?
All is well. Thank you for having me.
Moni, did you always know you were going to be a coach in life after basketball?
Mm.
Really?
No, no. I actually thought I was going into design. I'm interested in fashion, so I was trying to figure out a way to kind of be a source of retro gear or something like that for the WNBA.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out the way I thought it would, and a coaching opportunity became available for me with the Sparks when I decided to retire. So I stepped in.
Feels pretty natural for people that have watched you grow up down here in Baton Rouge, but for you who didn't expect it, how has that transition been for you?
It's been good. It actually has been better than I expected.
Yeah.
I think I fought it for a very long time. Like you said, a lot of people back home, here in the W, all over is like, someday you're going to be a coach. And I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I think it was a fear for me of, being able to articulate the information that players need to hear, being able to motivate them and help them reach their potential. But me not understanding that I can only do half of the work. They
Sure.
have to do the other half of the work. So I think I put more pressure on myself mentally, believing that I had more control over their ability to be great than, I thought I should.
Absolutely. How have you seen the league grow? You have been a champion. You've been a player of the year. You've seen this league kind of grow to where it is today. What is your point of view of where the WNBA stands right now?
I mean, it's in a great place. Obviously, you can see with the last few years with the CBA, that was something during my time that we never had an opportunity to just try to increase the pay for the ladies, try to create situations for the mothers where they're taken care of and have nursery and things like that. Even insurance, health plans, like things like that have now, in my 15 years, it was like a struggle bus a little bit. We
Yeah.
had to use our voices to try to make it happen, but we got people in the right position and in the right places to use the voices that we needed them to use to get where we needed to go. So it's only up from here for us as far as where we can go, but we can always use help. Obviously, we're always leaning on the NBA guys to kind of put us out there, show up at games, show their support. We're always trying to build our fan base whichever way we can, and venture out into different things in different community aspects or whatever. So you've seen people get very creative with the way that they want to continue to draw in as far as like their local markets.
People expected, I think, for your number to be retired inside the Maravich Center. People also discussed you having a statue on campus when statues started to become a thing at LSU, when you started to see statues go up of Shaq and Pettit and people that were being honored. It only made sense that Seimone Augustus would have one. Did you expect this at all from LSU?
In all honesty, no. It's the biggest surprise for me
Yeah.
because as we see, I'm the first female, like it,
Yeah.
to be able to have that statue. And it's a lot of conversations that, have to go on and decisions that have to be made in order for that to happen. It's a little bit easier for others. Obviously for the
Mm-hmm.
men, it's very easy for those things to happen. But for women, I guess we've gotten into a place where it's like, we have to work twice as hard to even get some recognition. And sometimes you go unrecognized anyway. But, in this situation, Coach Mulkey,
Yeah.
coming in her first year and thinking about the turnaround she had on the program, but a person of her in her position, stature, and power coming in like, we're going to make sure she has a statue out here because
Yeah.
you know what? Her resume lines up with everyone else that's here with a statue as well. And that kind of propelled the conversations forward and cemented, my opportunity to get a statue. But the work was already there. Like you said, it was just me saying it, but the work had already been done. So
Um, Much deserved. Congratulations.
thank you.
And as somebody
Thank
who is
you.
from Baton Rouge, like you are, It's very prideful to talk about the impact that you have not only had on the game of basketball, just our community, and the way that you have embraced it. I still, not to sound weird, but I still remember the first time I saw you play basketball, and you had the Chuck T socks raised up, pulled up in the dungeon. Your hair was braided. You were in ninth grade. This was after the SI cover, and you knew that you were going to be just special. How close was Tennessee? How close was that recruitment?
Very close, very close. Obviously, I mean, we're looking at Pat Summitt,
No doubt.
8 championships, legendary coach, Hall of Fame players everywhere, and we're looking at LSU, a team that I grew up watching, but I could only watch to a certain extent. I could only watch when Pack the PMAC came around and the games were like $2 or $5 or something like that. But whoever was over marketing at that time needs a raise if they're still working, because they always put the team, they always put Pack the PMAC against the top ranked teams, which would be Georgia or Tennessee whenever they came to town. And so I got to watch this little feisty Tiger team play against some of the best teams in the nation. The Tigers had no players of notoriety at the time, but they always gave those top teams trouble.
Yeah.
Like every game, either sometimes they pulled out with victories or it was a hard fought loss. Yeah. And I could respect that. And I'm like, thinking to myself, it's an opportunity for me to stay home for another 4 years, to be able to let the city of Baton Rouge, the state, enjoy me a little bit more, but then it's an opportunity to build a program that's right at the brink of being great, because you see it. So 1 or 2 players here or there, and here we are. And that's literally the decision that I had to make. And a lot of it had to rest on the belief in myself. Yeah. It's like, do you believe in yourself enough to go here and think that you can make an impact that big? And I was like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. You were the best. You are the best. You deserve the statue and all the love, for sure. Who did you look at? You were the swaggiest I ever saw. Who did you look up to and get some of that swag from? Like, who did you think was swaggy when you were coming up? Whose game did you look at and say, you know what, I'm going to steal a little bit of that?
My pops actually put me on all the NBA players. So I watched the PMAC tape that he had where he was showing all his fancy passes and moves and stuff like that. I watched that tape until the VHS broke. Like, wow. you could no longer watch it. I watched Dr. J. I watched Iceman, George Gervin, like all these players, and the similarities that they shared was just like, it was poetry in motion. Like the way that they played it didn't look hard. It looked easy. It looked fun. You could play some jazz music to it and it just flowed. And I love that. And so I always wanted my game to be like that, just real smooth. But sometimes it was a good and a bad to it, because as my career advanced, some people said it looked so easy that it didn't look like I was playing hard.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. It's like a sprinter. It's like a sprinter, a fast runner, where you're like, are they going full speed? But they're beating everybody. You know what I mean?
You don't think I'm playing hard? Line up.
Seimone, I know that you're pushed up against the clock. This is our last one. We'll get you at it. I feel like I could talk to you forever. I had a chance to be a part of the men's staff as a student assistant at the time in 04, 05, 06 while you were there. And I saw the respect that the men's team had for the women's team during that time. I can always recall when you would share the main floor, the guys would hang out and like watch y'all practice and almost kind of get into practice with. Explain the relationship between, because you and Brandon Bass went to high school together. And then when you were here, Glenn Davis was here, Tyrus Thomas was here, Tasman Mitchell, Daryl Mitchell. I mean, all these guys that were making impact and such historians of the program now. What was that relationship like while you were here?
They better respect me. And I just say,
it was like that. It was. I remember it was like that.
Yeah. No, I mean, we all grew up together. Yeah. So we knew each other. Like you said, I went to school with Brandon. I grew up with Big Baby. We went to the same recreational facilities in our neighborhood. Grew up with Tyrus as I traveled around Baton Rouge playing at different courts. So we all knew each other, and we already had a mutual love and respect for each other. Plus, I was the only person that had a car in college. So, I would have to take them around. So we had a great relationship. But then as our careers went on, they kind of fed off of the energy that we had going with our program. Yeah. And they saw the things that we were doing, how hard we were working, and they would sit there and watch practice like, what are they doing that we aren't? And as you can see, eventually it started to trickle over into their program, and the impact that they had as far as like making that Final Four run. That was like the most beautiful thing, to be able to have both teams making Final Four runs at the same time. Like, to see that and experience that, knowing their struggle and their obstacles and triumphs that they had to go through to get to that point was a very beautiful thing.
How cool was it to experience college with Big Sil and then win championships with her in the league?
You know what, the league part, I was like, what is going on? I never expected to play with Sil after college. But when the opportunity came, I was like, we're getting 2 more championships, maybe even 3. Like, it was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer because, like, that's like a bittersweet thing. Like, it's still a thorn in my side. We never got to win one in college. I wanted to bring a championship to Baton Rouge, but we couldn't do it. She tried to do it after I left. She couldn't do it. So to be able to actually get some championships together and prove that, our duo actually works, you know what I mean? It meant a lot.
Moni, thank you for your representation of where we're from, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Best of luck with everything that you have going on, and hopefully we can catch up next time you're in Baton Rouge.
I will.
Thank you very much. Congratulations as well.
Thank you.
There she is, the legend, Seimone Augustus. Simone checking in from Los Angeles just after Sparks practice here on this Friday. We are officially signing off for the weekend. Have a great weekend. Don't forget about the that's right. The Culotta show is Mic'd Up will originate 4:30, and then the Clout Demons on Sunday night will be here as well. There he is, Meathead. O'Doyle rules. Bust out some calves, bro. We'll see you on Monday.
I'm working on it.